Alright, good evening. City of Clear Lake Shores City Council regular meeting, September 21st, 2021 at 6:30. We do have a full quorum. All council members are present. At this time, we'll go ahead. Number 2, pledge allegiance to the flag and the United States of America and Texas flag. Welcome, everybody. First, we'll go with number 3, reports from council. Councilman Steve Wirtis.
The only thing I wish to report is I apologize for missing the last meeting. I am challenged a little bit when it comes to some of the modern technology, and it was something as simple as logging out and logging back into my email, thanks to our city administrator, Brent, who enlightened me. Thank you again. Again, I apologize, and I'll be more timely next time. That's all I have to report.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Wirtis. Next is Councilman Rick Fisher.
We had a meeting last night at the Parks and Pool Committee. Chris is here. I'm going to let her give you the full update on everything that we went over on that. Just one item concern that they did bring up is we want to see if we might be able to possibly work into the budget some money just to get a lift for decorating the tree for this year when we put it up. I know Diana was saying, and I'll tell you from experience going up there and helping them decorate it, being at the top of a ladder on top of that tree is not fun, and I'm not getting any younger.
Absolutely. Yep. Looking at trying to get a lift. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Don't
we rent a lift for?
Yeah, we do. It's just so expensive. So possibly. Yeah, we're looking at that. Or borrowing from a city, another city. All right, Councilwoman Monica Ledet.
I don't have anything to report at this time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ledet. Councilman Alex Scanlon.
On Wednesday, I think, of last week, I was leaving Clear Lake Road onto 2094 at about 8:05 a.m. and saw Kevin and Brent with shovels and collared shirts tucked in. So I thought that was pretty cool. I see you guys out there shoveling hurricane debris. So it really was a team effort. I appreciate that. I got a good laugh out of it. And on a personal note, my wife and I, Kellen, are expecting a baby girl in March, so I got another thing on my plate coming up.
A little Mr. Scanlon, or Mrs. Scanlon coming around. All right, thanks. All right, and Councilman Randy Cronister.
I don't have anything to report, but I want to say thanks to the police department and everybody in the administration for getting us through that hurricane, keeping everybody informed, and looks like we did a pretty good job and we dodged a bullet.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Thanks, Mr. Cronister. I just have a couple things. Just echo on the Hurricane Nicholas. We do have, it's on the agenda tonight with the city working with the EDC, working together for a Hurricane Nicholas Emergency Town Center Flood Recovery Program, hopefully to provide $5K to each of the businesses in our town center, consisting of Aspen's, Okies, Yard House, Schaefer's, Coastal Grill, and Skipper's, Greek Cafe, and Soul Freak. So hopefully that will all go through this evening. Then great work by Centerpoint coming in. They got our main line fixed in a matter of 4 hours once the storm cleared out. So that's kudos to them for doing that. And then a few days later, they got the rest of the power to the community restored. And then I also want to say we're very fortunate with all of our staff that we have, Jorge, Odie, Chief Keel, an entire police department and city administrator, Spear, and our amazing communications specialist, Adri Ritchie. They worked tirelessly before and during and after the storm, so kudos to all of them for helping out. And then just a reminder to check the website. We do have a few openings for committees, so those are posted out there, so take a look at that and see if there's a committee that you would love to volunteer for. And also we will be reseating the town center committee. That's something that kind of disappeared a few years back, and it is in our ordinances under 2010-01. And so we'll be reseating that. 3 of the members are from existing committees like Road and EDC and Planning and Zoning. But basically, they'll provide the guidance and advice for, you know, to the zoning administrator and a planning and zoning commission for building in the area for the town center. So, look forward to reestablishing that. Another one is we've got coffee with the mayor on October 2nd, starting at 9 o'clock. So hope to see y'all out for that. Just go casually over some things that are going on around the city and looking forward to what we're developing and moving forward with. And lastly, just don't forget to please drop off any perishable food items for our Galveston County Food Bank. We just took down, I think, 167 pounds around there, and so they really appreciate that. And that's it. So next is staff reports. It looks like we got our Assistant Chief Donaldson here. Please.
Mayor and Council, we put together a packet for you. Mayor, Council, the Chief has informed me that I put this packet together and he wanted me to present it to you. It's about leasing vehicles instead of owning. I put together a packet showing the cost analysis and the benefit of doing it. As far as the hard numbers, the Chief's going to get with Brent and our CPA and the Mayor, and once we get that done, and he'll be presenting it to you. So basically it's just so you can read it and know where we're going with this, where we want to go with it. Okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Assistant Chief Donaldson. Next is Building Official Kevin Harrell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Building report from September 8th to September 21st. In that period, I issued 22 permits. All those permits were minor construction. I currently have 8 homes being constructed in different various states of construction. I'm currently reviewing 3 homes right now, or 4, I'm sorry, 627 Pine, 834 Birch Road, 830 Birch Road, and 308 Clear Lake Road. The unsafe structure at 419 Oak, a demolition crew has been hired. It's JTB Demolition. And the owner has had CenterPoint disconnect the gas and electric. They hope to have the house taken down by late October. 922 Elm, I did sign a contract with JTB Demolition to take down the house. As soon as I get the electric disconnected, they're looking to start immediately. So I'm hoping to have that cleared up mid-October. Galveston Bay Brewing Company, drawings are approved. I'm hoping to see construction in the next couple of weeks. They sure rushed me to finish them, but I'm hoping to get that started very quickly. Code enforcement, I've got 1 code enforcement case. It's a junked vehicle on Tyndall. And then there's been some questions about the party barge attached to a waterfront lease. I spoke to the owner of the leaseholder of that lease. What's going on there is the boat is in repair and they are waiting for parts. They're thinking about 2 weeks and it'll be gone. You guys got any questions?
So is there any way they can tow that out? I don't see why it's our waterfront lease responsibility to keep that boat there.
Well, as long as they're not running a business out of it, it's not really illegal to tie a boat to a lease.
Well, it's a commercial boat.
But they're not running a commercial business. It's just a boat like any other.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I did talk with her about the size of the boat, and it does encroach into other leaseholders, and I told her they would have to alter the boat to prevent that.
It seems like a lot of leaseholders are a little uptight about it.
I've been answering phone calls and answering questions.
All right.
Is the registration up to date on that vessel?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
How much authority do we actually have over it since it's in the water and not actually on land or on the lease?
None really, only because it is in the water. The only jurisdiction I have is it's encroaching into someone else's lease.
When it's tied to the bulkhead, it's underneath Clear Lake Shores
Right. But
jurisdiction.
again, they can tie to the bulkhead, just like many boats on the island.
Right, but it's crossing multiple
Right.
leaseholders.
And I told her that then it has to be relocated so it doesn't encroach on somebody else's lease. But she said as soon as the parts come in, it'll be gone in a couple weeks.
I still don't understand why it can't get moved.
I didn't get to talk to the boat owner. It is the leaseholder. It's her daughter's fiance that owns the boat. But it didn't pass on the information that it needs to be gone ASAP.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Harrell.
Thank you.
All right, Clear Lake Shores, Kima Volunteer Fire Department, Chief Rob Zuniga.
All right, good afternoon. These are the statistics from last month, August. We ran a total of 46 calls for service, 23 of those being EMS and 23 fire calls. Average response time was 4 minutes and 29 seconds, with an average turnout time or shoot time being 1 minute and 16 seconds. 17.39% of these calls were overlapping or second out calls, meaning another call for service was already in progress whenever another call for service actually dropped. We didn't have we had one vehicle fire, no major structure fires. The only other major items of last month is we're still in the process of trying to finish our Apex grant between us and Leak City so that we'd be able to upgrade all of our radios. And we received the new F-150, which is a squad truck, and we'll be setting up to get rid of our older vehicles by the end of this month, hopefully, so putting those up for auction. And that's about all I got, unless anybody has any questions.
So when you upgrade those radios, the existing radios, will they work for our police department at all? Can they be repurposed, or do you turn those in?
About half of them, actually 2/3 of them belong to the Galveston County 911 district. The other 1/3 we do actually own, so we could absolutely look into that if
yeah, we'd like to look and see if there's any use that we can bring over to our police department.
Absolutely.
Or at least for our emergency operations.
Absolutely. So I know we literally, I know we should own about 1/3 of them. The rest we essentially rent them from the 911 district. So
okay.
We've been told that's why we just did a big order of batteries, because they discontinued them after this last December of 2019. So we've heard. So yes, sir.
Yep.
Or 2020. I'm sorry.
I think I talked to you, Brent, but Rob was looking at the trailer still, so maybe there's a trade-out deal or something. Probably work out. All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Galveston County Health District, Amy Weber, not present. And next is City Administrator Brent Spear.
Good evening. Had to come up with something witty to talk about Nicholas. The mayor and I were racking our brains to come up with something. So Nicholas came to town and he was neither jolly or saintly. How's that? Somewhat concise. Anyway, we've had tree damage. We're all aware of that. The city is in process of picking up debris, and I had a verbal quote today from a company that could come in and they said could complete it in 5 days, but I had a couple questions as to that caveat, so I'm awaiting their answers. It seemed to be fairly reasonable in comparison to what we're doing, and they would handle all of the debris removal, so we wouldn't have roll-off expense. I think everyone's pretty much aware that the modules at the front entrance of the city on Clear Lake Road are starting to look a little raggedy. I have a call in to the palm arborist to come over and look at them and give an opinion, but probably looking like those will have to be removed before they snap off. So make you aware of that. The plan would be to replace them with an appropriate species for this area. Medjool is, although it's a majestic, beautiful palm, it's really not coastal. It's not a coastal palm. Municipal court was canceled due to the storm. We had no power or internet like everyone else. It will be virtual in October. With Texas Parks and Wildlife, preliminary drawings are moving forward, have those being reviewed by a resident that's interested in looking at it and has some input. We'll submit those changes to the engineer and get them working on revised drawings. The Sunset or Lowell Brown Fishing Pier, that's been a project that's been languishing for a long time. Those materials are coming in. In talking with the contractor, he would expect completion in about 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll start seeing some action up there. The EDC, I think we're going to be, I'll wait until you get to, if you have to have a report from EDC, I can do that, or I can do that now, whatever you're. With EDC, the things they discussed last night, in addition to their project for the recovery for flood damages, was they had some discussions about public parking in the town center area as buildings continue to fill up and we become a favorite destination for people to enjoy life. Parking is a big issue, so they're addressing that. They talked about placing a person on the town center committee, and I think Ronnie Richards was tasked with that, and appreciate that. So they've identified somebody to come to the table. And there was discussion among EDC members about approaching local businesses regarding annexation. So the EDC is, I think, adjusting and working on things that they really have a renewed focus in, and that is economic development, hence their name. So they're moving in that direction, and they're trying to garner more businesses for the city. So I think that will work out. And that's all I have. I would like to commend our public works folks and the police department as well for all the work during the storm. It does get hectic. This was a small one, still cutting my teeth, but certainly identifies some shortcomings and then some opportunities for improvement for me. And it was good to have some seasoned people around that could go ahead and just take off and do what they needed to do without any instruction, so I appreciate that. Are there any questions? Thank you.
And I do have one go back. We did get approval from the Galveston County Commissioners Court recognizing the purchase of the right-of-way for Dror, and they raised their funding up to $950K, so no more additional funds are needed from the city for that, and they'll be moving forward on it. So that's good. Next is committee reports, Parks and Pool. I don't know if Rob, there's a microphone on that pedestal there. See if it's turned on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, we did have a meeting yesterday. It was a week late, but due to weather and all, and Brent was so busy with so many meetings that he had to be at. So I went over to City Hall, and he and I went over some of the questions that we wanted to discuss at council at our meeting, we took, or I took the plans for the boat ramp project and brought it to our meeting, and Jesse, who's on our committee, is really good at reading through all those plans, and so he's making notes on it to things that weren't quite right on it and give ideas to make some adjustments. So I really want to thank Jesse for doing that while he's still working on it. On my way over there, I met Jesse at the boat ramp, and there was an abandoned trailer, looked like an abandoned trailer, very bad shape, no tags. Looks like one of the verification, or I don't know if you call them VIN numbers on boats, was scratched out. And I did tell Brent, and want to thank you for quickly referring it to the Galveston County Auto Theft Force. I don't. Oh, the police. Oh, you already aware of it. Oh, you're just too fast on the job. We thought, oh, we found an abandoned boat. Okay. Anyway, well, thank you guys, because we didn't know what you do with that. It is a felony, though, correct? To abandon. It's a felony to abandon. Is it a felony to abandon a trailer like that? Yeah, especially when it's unlocked. Okay. Okay. So we did go over the plans at the boat ramp. We did ask Brent about. We were asking Brent about the sundial. As he stated tonight, materials are arriving. He did tell us too that they should have the project removal, new composite seawall, new pilings, and new composite decking. Should be started within 3 weeks, hopefully completed by mid-October. We discussed I'll leave that for a minute. I asked for some confirmation on budget, because it's all kind of lumped together, and was never discussed, and so just trying to verify some of the budget that is in there for parks, paint, touch-up, replacement of wood, etc. And the lights have never worked since the pool's been redone, so they still need to do some wiring and try to get the lights working. We did ask about the barge too, but thank you for clarifying all that about that barge that's sitting out there. Then we discussed Christmas decorations. We've had issues with those of the iridescent light shorting out all the time, and I believe that the electrical box there was changed out last year. And to go with LED lights is pretty costly. Kind of informed that we don't really have any money for Christmas decorations in the budget. So maybe Brent, later you can tell me about the box being changed out. We don't know if they're going to keep shorting out or not on those iridescent lights. And we discussed the need for a lift. I believe when Jorge and Odie work on the decorations at the front of the island, they get one of those lifts with the bucket thing, and we really need something like that. It's getting way too dangerous, especially Diana Chronister, who's up there most of the time. Way up there, it's too dangerous, and we do need some kind of a lift to get that tree decorated. I think that was the highlights of our meeting. Thanks. I would just found out that are all the signs at the parks being repainted? We hadn't heard anything about it.
Possibly.
Just possibly?
Yep, I'm looking into getting cost.
Oh, okay.
But it's all the city signs, not just the parks, but all the city signs.
Okay, somebody was talking to Eric and said that it was
we're looking at changing that from green to blue.
Oh, that would be great. Could read it better. Okay, thanks.
Yep, thank you. Thanks. Next is roads and drainage. Mr. Sowery.
Thanks, Kurt. Council. This report covers roads and drainage for this month. As you know, the drainage ordinance was presented to City Council and passed unanimously. Thank you for that. Alex did a great job leading us during the development and the presentation to Council. Alex will begin another similar effort in modifying our ordinances directed at our stormwater system and right-of-way issues. We had a meeting on the 9th of September to review several pending projects. We reviewed 2 contractor bids for fixing 13 damaged pavement areas and the road segments on Juniper from Oak to Clear Lake Road. We recommended that Kevin and Brent vet the low bid and move forward with local repairs and road refurbishment. We also recommended that we hire a specialist to follow the road segment refurbishment, acting as the eyes and ears of our city. In addition, we are looking at a contractor to fill cracks in our pavement and to extend the life of the existing surfaces. The search for a contractor for maintaining our ditches and culverts has not turned up adequate bids, and Kevin continues to search for more. I presented a straw man spreadsheet for our 5-year maintenance plan using the recommendations from our PMG maintenance program. We will continue fine-tuning the plan at our next meeting. As noted above, Alex kicked off the city right-of-way and stormwater ordinance revision. He presented a number of good suggestions, and we will continue reviewing them at our next meeting, probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully we can get started on ditch and culvert maintenance and road repair soon. Questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. All right, Zoning Board of Adjustments. I know they denied an item, Kevin.
As most of this room was already there last night, yes, we had one variance last night, and it was denied.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Let's see if I can see here. Planning and zoning.
We have nothing scheduled, planning and zoning currently.
All right, and waterfront compliance. Anybody on that?
They haven't met since the last update.
All right, sounds good. Next is number 6, Civic Club Activities Report. Ms. Teresa.
Okay. Oh, that's loud. We have National Night Out coming the first Tuesday of October. I think is that the 5th. We are doing it a little different this year. We're going to meet at Jarbo, do a golf cart parade, down to the boat ramp where everything will be staged at the boat ramp. So everybody is gathering there. Our fire trucks will be there. Hopefully we have the ladder truck. I know Chief Keel's working on shirts to give out. Then our next event is the barbecue cook-off, which will be October 23rd. So that's what we have. Any questions?
Thank you. And next is EDC. Anybody have an update? Other than one you already gave? All right. Next is item 8, public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to City Council in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. City Council may not deliberate. Comments from the public should be limited for a maximum of 3 minutes per individual. Yes, Mr. Sowery. Please state your name and address for the record.
Richard Sowery, 918 Forest Road. I want to commend the police department again. I saw TK out at Lazy Bend early in the morning, and man, I'll tell you, you guys are doing a great job keeping us safe.
Awesome job. Anybody else? All right, item 9, new business consent agenda. Any items want to be pulled between A and B by council? Having none, does anybody object to approving consent agenda A and B? Having none, consent agenda is accepted as is. Item number 10, council business, discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. Item A is approved resolution, and this is the second reading. The first reading was last night. Resolution 2021-06, a resolution of the City Council of City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, approving a project of the Clear Lake Shores Economic Development Corporation to provide grants to the businesses to assist in the recovery from damages caused by Hurricane Nicholas. As I mentioned before, yesterday the EDC graciously met and was able to put that program together. It's in your packet. If we approve tonight, forms will go out on the website for folks that received flood damage that reside in the town center, and I believe that they were proposing 5K if they can show that their losses amounted to 5K or more. Otherwise, they'll be adjusted lower for the losses that they put on the forms that they submit.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-06.
I'll second it. Oh,
Motion by Mr. Fisher, second by Ms. Leday. All right, any discussion? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Are you sustaining? Okay. Is there a reason?
I think it's a little early in the whole process to just, we haven't even seen what the damages are. The businesses are back up and running. Just really fast. It's a big jump to do that. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't have enough information to feel confident saying yes.
So your answer will be a nay then?
Well, I don't have enough information to say no either. So I'm abstaining.
So you can't abstain unless you have direct related work.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
related
yeah,
to it.
then I'm a nay.
Okay, so we have 4 for yes and 1 opposed. Mr. Scanlon. Motion passes. Next is item B, executive session pursuant to the Texas Local Government Code, Section 551.072, authorizing a government body to deliberate an executive session on certain matters concerning real property. A governmental body may conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. If the deliberation is in an open meeting, would have detrimental effect on the position of the governmental body in negotiations with a third person, acquisition of real estate. It is 7:02. Going to recess. I had asked council that we're going to go over to City Hall for this meeting. And then after we finish executive session, we'll resume here and close out the meeting.